My name is Jessie and am a 25-year-old female. I had 3 close friends during college and one of them was my college roommate Wendy. We took a bachelorette party trip to Vegas, and she slept with an old flame right next to me. My husband found out about this and it's causing a big rift in our marriage, and I need a constructive perspective. A little detail about me: I am married with a 1-year-old. Wendy and her fiancé were engaged for 6 months before we decided to embark on the trip to Vegas for her bachelorette party. Me and my 3 close friends do not live in the same city, so we didn't see each other that often, which made the trip much anticipating. We have had our share of craziness during our college days. We drank a lot and had our share of boyfriends. But when I met my husband, I knew I had to change because of him. He is a godly man, very spiritual. He influenced me a lot. Fortunately, I was arrested by Jesus Christ and gave my life to him. All the drinking and party became a lifetime ago. I spoke with my friends on the phone and we organized the trip together. I was a bit hesitant about going to a bachelorette party because of all the stigma that surrounds it. My husband reminded me about it as well. I assured him that I spoke with my friends about it and there would be no infidelities and consuming too much alcohol, because we were too old for that. We had that kind of trust between each other. Moreover, all my friends were in a relationship. I and my 2 other female friends had been eagerly planning for my college roommate Wendy's bachelorette party in Las Vegas for weeks. We all arrived at the airport around the same time and excited and ready to embark on our adventure. As we boarded the plane, I could feel the excitement building inside all of us as we felt like we were in college party mode again. We had all saved up to make the trip memorable for my dear friend. Upon arrival at McCarran International Airport, we hailed a taxi and made our way to the hotel. It was a beautiful place with all the luxuries and amenities that Vegas had to offer. I checked in and headed straight to my room to drop off my bags. I and Wendy would be sharing the same room, just like we did in college, except that we had 2 separate queen-size beds instead of 2 twin beds. My other 2 friends were sharing another room. We had decided to share to save money and spend more on entertainment. We quickly freshened up and headed out to explore the city. The bright lights, sounds, and sights of Vegas were overwhelming. I could see the excitement on my friends' faces as we all walked down the strip, taking in the many sights and sounds. I visited some of the famous casinos and played some slot machines, even though none of us were great gamblers. The highlight of my first day was a live show, which was an exciting experience for all of us. The second day was the big day, the bachelorette party. We all decided to start with a spa day to pamper ourselves. After a relaxing morning, we went to a rooftop pool to enjoy some sunshine and cocktails. In the evening, we all dressed up and went to a fancy restaurant for dinner. The food was exquisite, and the drinks flowed freely. We all had a great time, laughing and reminiscing about old times. As the night progressed, we went to a club, which was packed with people dancing and having fun. We were all dancing the night away and having a fantastic time. As I and my friends explored the city, my friends couldn't help but notice the abundance of attractive men in Vegas. They talked about hooking up with guys, but I tried to be the adult in the room, reminding them that they were all in a relationship and this wasn't that type of trip. We have grown past that. We had several guys approaching us, but I was always the one sending them packing, and I noticed my friends didn't like that. They told me to relax, and they are just having fun and are not going to take any of the guys home. I relaxed a bit and allowed my girlfriends to have their fun because they spend a lot on this trip, and I didn't want to be acting like their mom. However, I assumed it was unexpected when my college roommate Wendy ran into a guy she used to date. They had a tumultuous relationship, and she had not seen him in years. Come to find out, it was not unexpected as I thought because Wendy was well aware that the guy now lives in Vegas, and she contacted him as soon as she came to town. This behavior used to be normal to us back in college. We were used to dating multiple guys at the same time, but this time we are different. We were all in some level of relationship. I kept an eye on my girlfriends to make sure that they didn't do anything crazy. As time went on, we started drinking and some of my morals became loose. We were dancing and partying like the college days and having fun when my roommate Wendy spotted the old flame across the room. He came straight to her, and she introduced him to us. I remember my friend Wendy telling us about him. He is a very good looking, and has that player Casanova vibe written all over him. They chatted for a while, reminiscing about old times, and catching up on each other's lives, while I was paying attention to some other people. The guy seemed genuinely happy to see her, and before I knew it, they were dancing together. I and my friends watched from afar. It was nothing erotic, so we were happy for my roommate because she was having fun. I could see the chemistry between them, and it was clear they still had feelings for each other. After a few songs, the guy asked my roommate if she wanted to step outside and get some fresh air. She hesitated at first, but then agreed. I and my friends watched as they left the club and disappeared into the night. After they didn't come back for a while, I got the girls together so we would search for her. We went searching for her and we caught her making out with him at the corner. We laughed it up and I didn't remember getting mad about it because I was intoxicated and so were all of us. We were in a fun vibe. The guy told us that one of his friends had a suite and he was hosting an after party and we should join him. My friends wanted to go so I agreed. The 5 of us, including the guy, decided to continue the night with an after party in his friend's suites at the hotel. We all made our way to the suite, which was spacious and luxurious, with an incredible view of the city lights. The party continued with drinks, music, and laughter as we met several guys that were doing well for themselves. I lost touch with my 3 friends as we were all talking to men that are approaching us. I met a very handsome guy that I was attracted to and I had to remind myself that I was married so I wouldn't cross any boundaries. He was funny, charming, and had a way of making me feel at ease. Before our conversation went any deeper, I excused myself because I spotted Wendy becoming too comfortable with old Flame. She had clearly smitten him, and they were happy. I see her enjoying herself so much. I tried to break them up so we can start going back to our hotel, which wasn't too far from where we were. As the night wore on, we all started to get a little sleepy, and one by one, we decided to head back to our own rooms. I told the guy to leave, but he kept following us and talking to Wendy. At one point she had her arm around him, and we walked into the hotel. "This is my friend," Wendy kept saying to me. My other 2 friends both also had 2 guys with them. It was as if these girls did not understand that we were in a relationship. Almost like they were the same college girls and had never changed. When we got to the hotel, I was so tired that I just walked in the room and lay on the couch and fell asleep and dozed off for almost an hour. I was woken up because I heard a lot of noise from the bathroom. I got up to find out what it was, and it was Wendy and the guy. They were showering together. I threw out some bad words and asked what the F she was doing. "Oops, you have to go," she says to him, and we kicked him out. Clearly, they must have had sex already. I didn't see them, but they were both unclothed in the shower, so that would be a reasonable conclusion. I asked my friend why she did that to her husband, and she swore that she didn't have sex with him. I didn't want to argue with her because I was tired and sleepy. It had been a long day. I was sure my other 2 friends were doing something similar, but they were in another room, so I couldn't police them. I took a shower and changed, then I went to bed. The room had 2 queen-sized beds. I was still drunk as well, so I passed out easily. I wake up after maybe 30 minutes to see them having sex in the other bed. He was doing her on the bed from behind right in front of me. I freaked out and screamed what the F and get the hell out, she is getting married. I guess it was too late because he already finished in her. Which I saw when he stood up. He didn't even have any protection. My friend was just lying there with a naughty grin on her face like she stole some cookies. I don't know how long they were going at it and why it didn't wake me up sooner. I had already started dreaming. He pulls up his pants and leaves. After he left, I gave my girlfriend an angry stare and she started apologizing to me. I ignored her and went back to sleep. The following day I was giving her the silent treatment and she apologized to me. I also suspected that my other 2 friends went home with men as well. All was forgiven before the end of the day. We caught a flight in the morning, and we all went back to our separate cities. When I arrived home, my husband asked me about the trip, and I told him everything except for what my friends did. I felt guilty for omitting those details because we are very honest with each other. 2 days later I told him the truth of what my friends did. He told me that I have to call my friend and tell her to confess to her fiancé, but I refused to do so. He told me that if I didn't tell her fiancé that I am an accomplice and I was as guilty as her. My husband kept pressuring me for a week till I conceded and decided to call Wendy and tell her to confess. Wendy refused and told me that her fiancé would cancel the wedding and that she would delete herself if that happened. I told my husband that my friend said she would delete herself if her fiancé found out and breaks up the wedding. My husband was dismissive. He felt like she should have thought about it before she cheated. I felt like my husband was being inconsiderate and wasn't understanding how difficult it is for me. We had an argument over this, and he kept using the moral high ground and wanted me to expose all my friends and go nuclear on them. I told him that they are my friends, and we go way back, and I didn't even see the other two friends having an affair, only Wendy. Few weeks later I thought everything was forgotten. Then Wendy called me crying, asking me how her fiancé found out about her affair. I told her that I didn't tell him anything, but she didn't believe me. She cursed me and told me that we were no longer friends. I called her back and she wouldn't answer her phone. I confronted my husband and he admitted that he called Wendy's fiancé and told him everything. I was shocked and angry. I felt betrayed by my husband. I told him that I can't share anything with him, and I even threatened to divorce him because I can't trust him anymore. The worst part is that he refuses to apologize to me and believe that he is right, and he did the right thing. But that's not the point. The point is that it wasn't his position to expose Wendy. He took it upon himself because of his self-righteous platitude. He also want me to cut ties with all my friends and I refused. Our marriage is going through some challenges because of this and I don't know how to handle this. I know what Wendy and my friends did was wrong, but what my husband did was wrong also, and I find it hard for me to get over this. Please tell me if I was wrong. Was my husband on the right for doing this? I need a different perspective. Please be constructive on your perspective. I need help to build back the trust I used to have in my husband.
Having a bachelor or bachelorette party in most cases is an excuse to cheat. If you're getting married to someone you presume is the love of your life, there shouldn't be a need for one last night of fun, as if you're having your last meal before you go to prison. If you need one last night of fun before you spend the rest of your life with your true love, then you probably shouldn't be getting married to that person. Having a bachelorette party in Vegas just puts you in the prime location to cheat because that's what Vegas was designed for. You put yourself in a position to cheat, and mixing it up with alcohol is a cocktail for debauchery. Now let's talk about your friend Wendy. Wendy's infidelity is premeditated and wasn't a mistake. She knew her old flame lived in Vegas. Maybe that's why she hosted the bachelorette party in Vegas, so she could meet up with her old flame one last time before tying the knot. And she got you to lie to your husband and make it to appear as if it was a collective idea to go to Vegas. And that was the first lie she told to you. Secondly, you have shown where your loyalty lies, and it's not to your husband or your son. You try to act like you're in control of your friends, pretending to be the mother hen amongst them. But the truth of the matter is that you're not in control of even yourself. You got drunk when you promised your husband that you wouldn't get drunk. So if you're not in control of yourself, how could you be in control of your friends? So not only did your friend Wendy lie to you twice. The first lie was that she wasn't going to Vegas to cheat. And the second lie was that she wasn't being intimate when you clearly caught her red-handed in the shower. But you're willing to forgive her the following day and still willing to protect her relationship. Yet, you're debating whether to jeopardize your own marriage that you share a child with. That just shows how out of touch you are. Your husband exposed Wendy to protect your marriage because he knew that eventually birds of the same feathers flies together. After you failed on all the promises you gave him before the trip, the only way he could salvage the situation is for you to sever contact with your toxic friends. You don't have as much power as you thought you have amongst your friends because you couldn't police anyone. You made a commitment to your husband that you and your friends wouldn't drink, and you failed on those two accounts. To make matters worse, you initially lied to him by intentionally omitting the details of the infidelity. Your husband did the right thing, not only to protect you from your friends, but to protect his fellow man from an impending disaster. You think you're born again Christian, but deep inside you're still weak, and it wouldn't take much for you to slide back into debauchery. Please don't forget to like and subscribe this video for more content like this.